You are now listening to Carly's Couch.
I'm Carly.
And I'm Lex.
In this podcast, we discuss a wide array of topics about life and how to live your best life,
whatever that looks like for you.
Hope y'all enjoy.
We have come to the end of 2021, and so in this episode of Carly's Couch, we're going to just be asking ourselves some questions about the year and how it was good to us.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome to the last episode of Carly's Couch for 2021.
Wow, we made it. We made it through another year.
Barely.
But we here though.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I think the last couple of years have felt like one maybe kind of altogether. And it hasn't been crazy personally, but it has been very interesting and a lot has changed. I think a lot of things can change in a week, a month, a year especially. And so it's important to kind of think around and maybe just do some self-reflection on what happened? What did I do this year that was awesome? What did I do this year that I should never do again? Which I got a few of those things too. Same. So yeah, maybe I would add that to one of the questions, but I don't even want to talk about that with y'all because it's not y'all business, to be real honest with you. But yeah, we're just going to have a quick episode to end out the year and just answer a few questions. So we invite you to answer them as well. Hit us on Instagram, Twitter, where else?
TikTok.
Not Facebook.
No.
And just, if you think of something that's an answer to any of these questions, feel free to send it to us.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all for rocking with us through another year. We about to be in 2022 together on the Bouch, upgrading, elevating, feeling better. So yeah, it's always a good time to check in with yourself. So join us.
So Carly, our first question to think about in reflecting on 2021 is, what is a game-changing thing that happened for you this year? What happened for you this year that was game-changing?
Man, a couple of things. I'll give a Carly answer first. Very ethereal, but a perspective change. I really shifted my mindset from doing things that I thought I had to do or it had to be a certain way or, whatever, into really just what feels the most in alignment with me. I've always been purpose-driven and alignment-driven, but I still had those pressures of oh man, I should show up this way, should do all these things. And I just kind of told all of that to go away this year. And it really has just upped all of my levels of joy and serotonin and amazing things. Also, I live by myself again. Praise God. I lived by myself when I was in Dallas. But then since I've been in LA, I've always had roommates. And when I tell you that just being able to have my space and my time to reflect and to be by myself and sit with myself has changed my whole life, my whole outlook. I am so refreshed.
That's good. So you prefer living by yourself?
Yes, Lord.
That's good. Yeah, that's something, that's a good reflection that I think too, when we ask these questions, sometimes you really have to look back and look through your calendar and look at the things you did and really think about it. So that is a good one. For me, what happened this year that was game-changing, I would say, is the expansion of team with my company. So we did a lot of hiring this year and had adding a lot more people. But that plus kind of the structure is really what changed things, right? So it's I actually can have clients that I don't even know what's going on with them, but the team is taking care of it. And allowing, not just adding people in, but adding people in and allowing them to have ownership of different areas and the different pieces of what we got going on. So for me, that's what has been game changing.
Man, I love that. And like I said, I think I talk about this often. It's just so cool to watch your company grow and watch it change. And y'all had the whole revamp this year. So Capitalized Socials, no cap social. And
yeah, and we started that in 2020, working on it, and then kind of got to where I was all right, I can actually do it now. Last year or this year. Wait, where are we? Yeah, this year.
Yeah, this year. See, it's all one big year.
Yeah, so even stuff like that took a lot longer than I thought, but even with that, it just clarified a lot of things, and now it makes more sense of how to add people in, to be efficient and not just having more cooks in the kitchen and or more people to just you're over managing, everybody.
And I feel that's going to open the door for a whole bunch of other life lessons and growth in 2022. What is something serendipitous that happened to you this year?
So my couple things for that would be, how I started. So I celebrated New Year's this year with Drake on accident. I was in the Bahamas at Baha Mar, and they happened to be there, and it was serendipitous for both me and the person that I was there with, because they met somebody who they actually had business with that they were getting ready to have meetings with, and it's like they became friends. And then also like we just ended up like being at like Drake's New Year's party. So it was just interesting and like just super random and cool, and that turning into a friendship as well. And then the other thing I would say is, I don't know if it's so much serendipitous as it is just, oh, it's cool because you recognize like this only happened because of like new relationships that you have in your life. But just getting introduced to the CEO of my biggest client now, just on some like, oh yeah, I was talking to him and they were saying they need XYZ services, or they really were trying to hire like for particular positions, and saying, you know, and I told him like he should just chat with you, and going in and being able to like swoop in, you know, take the contract from somebody else and then, you know, turn that into a huge client was really cool for me too. Just based off of like a relationship that I had with somebody else.
I would say that's serendipitous because they didn't have to say that thing, and then it turned into this big thing. Yeah, I know.
And the timing too, right? Because the biggest thing about stuff like that is like, well, you know, had it been any other time, I wouldn't have been ready for it. But because of what I just said was a game-changing thing, having team, having processes, etc., now it's like, oh, okay, it makes sense. And it's not like a scary thing either to have a bigger client like that.
You are ready. You are clear on everything and able to communicate that. I love that so much. And y'all know, well, maybe you don't, but synchronicity and serendipity are like my favorite things in the world. Mine actually has to involve a client as well. I struggle with content creation as someone who, you know, wants to be a thought leader in the space of like holistic health and wellness and self-love and mindfulness. Like I only like creating content whenever I feel like it, which I know is not how it's supposed to be done. You're supposed to be more dedicated and stuff. But one of those days that I was inspired and happened to make a couple of things. Anyways, one of those videos, somebody reached out and now they're my biggest corporate client, because on the day that I like was inspired, did feel it, listened to my heart, you know, made this video. I just be talking to myself most of the time, but it apparently spoke to him on a level, and now I work with his nonprofit and it's my biggest client, all because I listened to, you know, an urge that I had. I think that's huge.
That's great. What would you say is your most enjoyable experience of this year?
Ooh, I think allowing myself to flow, enjoy it. So a couple of things come to mind. The first one is just like, by allowing myself do what I want to do instead of feeling what I have to, like it led to some amazing adventures, like tacos on the beach at midnight, you know, with somebody, or, you know, me making a last minute trip home to go see my mom. And I ended up just playing at the park by myself. And now when I tell you I had no cares in the world when I was going down that slide or swinging on that swing by myself, just those little moments of joy that have come from listening to my heart.
Mm-hmm. For me, I would say I made a random weekend trip to Seattle. I want to say maybe March-ish, and it was so cool. I just never been there. Well, I'd been there once for like a conference way back in the day, but I hadn't gone just to go, right? And so I'm like super into seafood. I love fresh seafood, and I was like, well, I kind of want to go up there. I love rainy days, and it was just such an awesome like chill weekend. Everything was so grungy, and I had like the best food ever at a couple of places. Shout out Taylor's. What is it called? Taylor's Shellfish, maybe, or Taylor's Seafood. But it was really good. Like they had tanks in the restaurant of like all the live animals, and then like their happy hour was super good. I remember that. And then outside of that, I would say kind of similarly, like the adventures and some of the travel. Like I went to Detroit a few times this year, went to Sacramento, got to see my friend Kiari DJ at an event that he had developed like during the pandemic. And so it's been really cool just to get out and explore. A lot of it revolves around food, so like eating good foods and exploring a lot of new restaurants, things like that. That's really what I've enjoyed the most.
Me too. Yeah, food is involved in most of my happy adventures and happy times, especially good food. On the other side of that, what is something big that you've learned this year?
So some of the things now that I'm trying to think back, that I would say I have, and maybe not learned, because, you know, like we be knowing these things, but like, did you really see work or like really see make sense in your life? For me, I would say that investing in yourself really does make a difference. It really does work. Like you do have to spend sometimes, whether it's putting in the extra work, if we're talking about physical health or something, or if we're talking about spending more on the right people or the right platforms or coaching or whatever it may be for your own like personal or business type stuff. So for me with like business, my expenditures have gone up, but it's like making us also work smarter. And like I said, like less off my plate and allowing for us to, in turn grow. So investing in yourself really does make sense, does work. Anything that you try to shortcut yourself on, like shortcuts are expensive. Being cheap costs a lot. So really like take the time, if you're going to invest in something, do it in yourself. Outside of that, there's like a lot of personal type things as far as just understanding more and getting more clear with myself about things like attachment style and like conflict, and understanding really what my relationships are with those as is brought to my attention through a relationship. So now I'm learning more about like how I view feelings and, you know, what I need to learn from those things and all the things you hear us talk about like month to month, week to week on the podcast. But just a lot of things being more clear to me of understanding myself and learning myself.
Yeah, something big that I've learned this year is really to listen to myself, even if it seems like it might be out of like who I feel like I normally am. So for example, I would say like I'm, you know, a people person. Like I like spending time with people. But this year, for whatever reason, I felt more like I was a hermit, like in hermit mode. Like I didn't do that much. I didn't really have a lot of energy to expend like catching up with people and doing things with people. And I think I really learned the value of listening to myself and of resting, of trying to do less. Because I always am trying to do the most and more. And so this year I allowed myself to withdraw, to tune into myself and to do less. And I feel like all of the growth that I've had personally has far, like it was a huge spike of growth for me this year personally, in relationships with myself, a lot of healing, a lot of unlearning. And I'm really proud of myself for doing what's difficult, because it's not always easy to do that. But I feel like I've grown so much this year in just like learning to listen and be with myself.
That's good. And then, so the last question now, going into the new year, what are you excited about?
What am I not excited about? I'm excited about everything, y'all. I'm excited because what I just talked about, that hermit mode, I feel like I'm out of it and I'm like ready to hit the ground running. I feel like I've been hibernating and resting and I feel refreshed. I feel like I am more confident in who I am and in what I want, and what I want to achieve this year and the things that I'm going after. Like I just feel like invigorated. And so I'm just really excited to hit the ground running. I'm excited to travel more this year, and to catch up with all the people that I love. So this past year I kind of fell off, like, you know, and just really was loving on myself. So now I'm excited to be back in people's faces and spend time with them and explore and have fun there. But I just feel like this fresh fire to go out and achieve and to do all the things that are on my heart.
That's good. That's good to feel refreshed and to feel energized, because it definitely feels like when you're not energized, like it's like a spell of time where you're like, all right, I'm a chill. For me, what I'm excited about is 3 S's. Number one, support, the support of my team and, you know, again, being able to grow in that way. I would also say structure. So as I've added more structure, more processes, more operations with the support that I've gotten from my team, it's very much like not very limited as to where we can go with work and company type stuff. And then the last thing I would say is I'm excited about spoiling myself more, because I have many more funds to use to like do things that I just want to do now. So I'm able to bring in more, able to enjoy more, because I definitely understand and know how it feels when it's like, damn, like I can't even do the regular things. And now it's like I can be more intentional about the fun things and the moments of rejuvenation that I want to have in my life.
That's such a beautiful place to be. I wish that place on everybody. It's like when you ain't got it, you know, the S used to be struggle, but now it is spoiling. Yeah,
no, struggle to spoil. yeah, flip the S.
I love that for you so much.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, but also you got to maintain, right? So it's like, let me still not wall out. So being smart, 4th S, about the spoiling and, you know, just not holding yourself back too much. So those are the questions that we asked ourselves about this year. We told you we're going to keep it short and sweet. So we're not going to give you no extra speech at the end, really. Or I don't know. I can't speak for Carly. But we hope you've had a great year. We are glad that you have listened to us throughout 2021. And actually, I do have a question of the week. So unless you want to say something else.
I was about to say, yeah, I just appreciate y'all. Hit us at Carly's Couch. Let us know what was game changing, something serendipitous, something enjoyable that just brought you so much joy, something you learned, and something you're excited about. I want to hear all the things. So hit us at Carly's Couch on pretty much all the platforms.
And my question of the week is specifically for the listeners. My question is, what was your favorite episode of Carly's Couch this year? So I'm interested in hearing what your favorite episode was. Hit us on Twitter, Instagram, wherever. Lextopia, Carly Carpio, CC Fierce, and Carly's Couch.
Yeah. Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year.
Stay safe. Have fun.
It's going to be funny because we bringing these glasses into the new year.
Cheers. Salud. That's the other S. Salud.